Hello students, let's begin with the last chapter of the syllabus, that is chapter number 9, Bholi. It's written by K.A. Abbas. This chapter, as word Bholi suggests, it's the word which is taken from Hindi, innocent person, an innocent person. It's about a girl who is too innocent and how her innocency changed into smartness. That is the chapter what it deals about. Let's begin with the chapter. Her name was Sulekha, but since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. So, this is the story of a girl named Sulekha. Sulekha was the name, and since childhood, everyone called her Bholi. She was not called by name Sulekha, she was called Bholi. That is simpleton. Simpleton because she was simpleton. Simpleton is a foolish person who don't have any senses. So that's why she have been called as Bholi. She was the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramlal. She was the fourth child. Other three girls were there, and she was at number 4, and her father was a Nambardar. When she was 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot on her head. Perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. So, a tragedy happened with this girl, and this tragedy, so the tragedy happened with her that she fell off the cot from the bed. She fell down, and what happened? Her head hit on the floor. So because of hitting the head, what happened? She lost the brain, some part of her brain. So in her body, a default came that she could not behave like the normal children. So that's why she remained a backward child. She always remained a backward child and came to be known as Bholi, the simpleton, the foolish person. She was known as that she's a fool. She doesn't have any common sense. So she was called Bholi instead of her name. No one cared about her now when she became a child who was not abnormal child she became. Now, what happened next? At birth, the child was very fair and pretty. When she was born, she was very fair and pretty. But when she was 2 years old, till she was a very small kid, small child, up to 2 years old, she was very fair and pretty. And after 2 years, a change came. She had an attack of smallpox. So smallpox was there. She had an attack of smallpox, and only eyes were saved, but the entire body was permanently disfigured by deep black poke marks. So her whole body was covered because the smallpox was there on his. She suffered from smallpox, and that smallpox, when it was cured, but it left some poke marks. It left some spots over his body, and so her body became ugly. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5, and because she had fallen from the bed, so till age of 5 she could not speak properly. Her brain was not working properly, so her growth was also abnormal. So, and when at last she learned to speak, she stammered, and when she started speaking, she started stammering. She was stammering. She could not speak properly. She fumbled. So the other children often made fun of her, mimicked at her. And when the children, because this is habit of children, when someone is fumbling or stammering, so they made fun of her. They, moreover, she was not so beautiful now. She was ugly. So they copied her. They made fun of her because she could not respond to those funs. As a result, she talked very little. So because of that, she was afraid and she started speaking very less. She never spoke after that. Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and the youngest of them was Bholi. So there were 7 children. Her father's name was Ramlal. 7 children, 3 sons were there, and 4 were these daughters. She was the youngest of all, and it was a prosperous farmer's household. It was not such that they were the poor farmers. He was a prosperous, a wealthy farmer. He could upbringing of the children, he could do well. So for every child he was giving the facility, but Bholi was an exception. There was a plenty to drink and eat. Children except Bholi were healthy and strong. So all the children were healthy, strong, but Bholi, because her growth was not normal, so she was not as healthy as compared to other children. So now then, the son had been sent to the city to study in school. So now naturally the education now the farmer, because he was wealthy enough, he had enough money to spend on the education, so the sons were sent to the city to study in schools and later in the colleges also. So only sons were given education during those days in the villages. So same way sons were given, but daughters, they were not, they were only married at the smallest age. So of the daughters, Radha, the eldest daughter, she was already married till now. And the second daughter, Mangala, she was Mangala, she had also been settled. And when this was done, Ramlal would think of the third daughter was Champa. So one by one all the daughters were married, because they were good looking, they were healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. So at the young age they were married because they were beautiful, so there was no problem of getting them married. So they were married. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. He had neither good looks nor intelligence. She had. So he was worried because this girl Bholi, she was not so good looking. She was having the poke marks on her face, and uh, she was not ugly, and she didn't have even her senses were not proper. Mind was not working properly. So he was very worried about the girl, that how she will get married now. So then Bholi was 7 years old when Mangala was married. So Mangala, the third child, when she was married, at that moment, Bholi was only 7 years old child. Mangala got married in the same year. The primary school for the girls opened in the village. Tahsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. He said to Ramlal, "As the revenue official, you are the representative of government in the village. So you must set an example to the villagers. You must send your daughters to school." So Bholi, when was 7 years old, the third daughter was already married, and it was the turn of Bholi. Now the family was worried about Bholi, what to do. So the same year, what happened there? A school opened in the village. It was a primary school. So the school opened in the village, and there, when the opening was there, the Tehsildar is the person who is most respectable person thought to be in a village. He came to in the opening ceremony, and Ramlal, because he was a wealthy farmer, influential position he was having in the family, in the village. So he was asked, Tehsildar asked him that, because as a revenue official, that you are a revenue official, you are well reputed in the village, so you are representative of government. Okay, so he's saying that because you are on a government links, so you are the representative of government in the village. So what you have to do is be an example to the villagers. So because this school is open, and the villagers never send their girls to study in the school, because girls were thought to be marry early rather than sending them to schools. So he said, you send your daughter here, set an example for the village, then only all will open. When the Tehsildar said, then there came a problem in the house of Ramlal, because at that time girls were not given education. That night Ramlal consulted his wife. He cried, "Are you crazy? If girls go school, who will marry them?" So when Ramlal told his wife that Tehsildar is asking for getting my daughter admitted in the school, so wife was angry that, are you crazy? If we send the girl to a school, who will marry them? But Ramlal had not courage to disobey the Tehsildar, because Tehsildar is on the higher post and he cannot disobey. So what was decided? At last his wife said, "I will tell you what to do. Send Bholi to school. As it is, there is little chance of getting married, and with her ugly face, lack of sense, let the teacher at the school worry about her." So see the mother, what she mother said. Okay, mother said, okay, no problem. You send Bholi, because Bholi is already, what's the problem? She is having lack of senses. Her mind is not working properly, and moreover she is ugly also. So she will not get. There is little chance that she will get married. No one will marry her because of her condition. So better you send her. So why should we worry about Bholi? Let the teachers worry about her in the school. So send her school, no problem. So this was decided that now Bholi will be sent to school. So next day Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand, said, "Come with me, I will take you to school." Bholi was frightened, because Bholi never heard about the school, and when she never goes outside the home also, because she's afraid of the children. And now father is asking that, "I will take you school." She was afraid. Why she was afraid? Because she felt like that she did not know what the school was. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out of the house. So what came in her mind when she was talked about school, when father talked that I will take you to school? So she just thought like a cow, old cow, because some days ago what happened in their house, an old cow was sold, and so it was naturally it was sold, so it was sent out of the house. So she thought that she also, just like a cow, she is being sold to somewhere and she will go out of the house, and now she was feeling like that cow, so she was afraid that school is like that only. So then, no, 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 she shouted in terror and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. What's the matter with you? So she was frightened. She said, no, I don't want to go. And she just get her hand out of the grip of the father. Father was angry. He said, what's the matter with you, you fool? Shouted Ramtal. I'm only taking you to school. So he's saying, are you fool? You are afraid? I'm taking you to school and you are afraid. Then he told his wife, let her wear some. He told the wife that let her wear some decent clothes today, and else what will the teachers and other schoolgirls think of us and when they see her? See, till now because she was a dumb minded girl, she could not respond well, she could not speak well, so her appearance was never cared about. She remained in the old clothes, she remained, if she was dirty, she remained like that only. But now father is asking that she will go to other school girls will be there and all will be there, so you get her, change her clothes and prepare her well, so that teachers, they don't feel inferior about her. So this father instructed the mother. So new clothes had ever never been made for Bholi, and Bholi, because she was not in habit of wearing new clothes, no one cared about her appearance. So the old dresses of her sisters were passed on to her. So only the old dresses which her sisters threw away, she was given those dresses, and no one cared to mend or wash her clothes. But today she was lucky to receive clean dress which had shrunk after many washings, no longer fitted Champa. So it was the dress of Champa, it was not suiting to Champa. So when Champa's dress was thrown away, so this was a neat and clean dress, washed one. So it was given to Bholi to wear on that day, and she was even bathed. Till now, no one cared. No one oiled her hair properly. No one took care of her, that she takes bath daily. But now today she was given bath also. She was oiled. Her hair was oiled. New dress, although it was an old one, but washed dress was given her to wear, and mother properly prepared her for the school. Only then she began to believe that she was being taken to a place better than home. And when she was being prepared like that, being ready for like that in a new dress, what feeling was coming to her mind? That she was going to such a place, any place. She doesn't know what is the school, but it will be better than home because she is prepared well for that place. So she felt good then at that time. When they reached the school, children were already in their classrooms. Ramlal handed over to his daughters to the headmistress. Left alone the pool, the girl looked about her with fear-laden eyes. There were several rooms, in each rooms her like her squatted on mats, reading from the books, writing on the slates. The headmistress asked Bholi to sit down in a corner in one of the classrooms. So when she reached school, what she observed there? She saw that there were many children in the classroom sitting, and now headmistress was there. Headmistress, the head of the school was there. Ramlal handed over the girl to her, and then she was left alone. She was fear laden eyes. With fear laden is because she was afraid. So she was afraid. She just looked everywhere, and she was observing what the school was actually. She saw that there were several rooms. Everywhere in the room, girls were squatting. The girls were sitting cross leg on the mat. They were reading some books. They were writing on the slates also. And headmistress asked Polly to sit down in a corner. So headmistress, the teacher, that principal of the school, she asked her to sit at one place in the room. So this way she observed what was happening in the school. So now Bholi did not know what exactly a school was like. but she did not know about the school till now anything. So what was happening there, what happened there, but was glad to find so many girls almost of her age present there. She hoped that one of these girls might become her friend. So when she saw that there were a number of children and girls like her was also there, so maybe any of these girls will become her friend, so she was happy to be in the school. And the lady teacher who was in the class was saying something to the girls, but Bholi could not understand nothing. She looked at the pictures on the wall. The colors fascinated her, the horse. Now she was looking, teacher was talking with her, but she could not concentrate over the teacher's word. The teacher was teaching. She looked towards the pictures on the wall, hanging on the wall, that the colors of the paintings, these attracted her. Horse, she saw that there was a picture of horse. It was of brown color. Just now see, when she saw some pictures on the wall, what's coming in her mind, she started visualizing. She started comparing those pictures with original animals. When she saw horse painting, she remembered the horse of Tehsildar who came to visit their village. When she saw a goat's painting, that the goat was painted black and it looked like an original goat in their neighbor. When she saw a parrot, it was green like the parrot she had seen in the mango orchard. So she compared that those painting was just like real things outside in the village, and the cow was also just like of Lakshmi. So can you see, she's observing the thing. So it means she was not a dumb minded, she was not a foolish girl. Actually her mind was brilliant, maybe her mind was working properly, but no one cared till now to know her caliber. So she was comparing in her mind, she was comparing what was there on the walls, and she's comparing. But suddenly Bholi noticed that the teacher was standing by her side, smiling at her. Then she saw a teacher was standing, the teacher who was teaching, now she was standing near to Bholi. Now teacher started talking with her. What's your name? She asked the Bholi, Bhababho, because she stammered and she was afraid also to talk. So she was stammering. She could not stammer no further than that. She could not speak her name. Then she began to cry. She started weeping, and tears came out of her eyes in helpless flood because she could not speak properly. She was stammering and she started weeping. And she kept her head down. She sat in the corner, not daring to look up at the girls who knew she is still laughing at her. When the school bell rang, all the girls scurried out of the classroom, but Bholi dared not leave her corner. Her head still lowered, she kept on sobbing. So she was, girls were laughing, the students were laughing over her, but she felt bad when all were laughing and she could not speak. Scaridis ran away. The scared word is ran out of the class. So the girls, they were enjoying, the children were enjoying, they were laughing over him when she could not speak. And at that moment when she was weeping, what happened? Teacher started again talking with her. What she talked, Bholi, the teacher's voice was soft, soothing. In all her life, she had never been called like that. It touched her heart. So when the teacher called her name Bholi, so she felt so affectionate with those words, because no one with love like that soft voice, no one talked her name like that. She was always scolded by others. Get up, said the teacher. It was not a command but a friendly suggestion. Bholi got up. So teacher asked her to stand. So when tell now tell me your name. So now teacher is talking. When teacher saw that she is nervous and she's weeping, teacher wanted to soothe her. She asked her name. She's saying, okay, try to speak your name. You're not able to speak, but you speak. Try again. Sweat broke out of over her whole body. Would her stammering tongue again disgrace her? So she was afraid, because she could not, she fumbled, and if she could not speak again, then what would happen? She was afraid. For the sake of this kind woman, however, she decided to make an effort. She had such a soothing voice, she would not laugh at her. So when the teacher was asking her, she could not stop herself. She said that this kind lady is asking me, I will try for her and I will speak. Bhababho. Again, she could not, she was stammering, she could not speak. But the teacher appreciated her. She encouraged her. Well done, well done. The teacher encouraged her. Come on now, the full name. Tell me your full name. And when she again tried, so she was able to speak Bhababholi. So she could speak her name. At last she was able to speak, and it felt relieved, as if it was a great achievement, because without fumbling now she was able to speak. So it was a great achievement for her. She felt happy. Well done. The teacher patted her affectionately and said, put the fear out of your heart. You will be able to speak like everyone else. Bholi looked up as if to ask, really? So teacher encouraged her that don't worry, one day you will be able to speak with others. If you have courage, you can do anything. So she motivated the girl to speak. Yes, yes, it will be very easy. You just come to school every day. So teacher is saying that yes, you will be able to speak. Don't worry. If you come daily to school, she is motivating her to come to school. You will be able to learn. Will you come? Bholi nodded. Bholi nodded. Bholi said with her gesture only that yes, she will come. No, say aloud. Teacher said no, not like that. Speak aloud. You will come? Yeah, yeah, yes. So Polly spake, she expressed herself and was astonished. She was surprised that was able to say yes. Didn't I tell you? Now take this book. So a book teacher gave that I told you that you will be able to speak. Now have this book. See this book and read out this book. The book was full of nice pictures. Pictures were in color: dog, cat, god, horse, parrot, tiger, a cow just like Lakshmi. With every picture was a word in a big letter. So teacher gave her a book, an alphabet book, which was having a picture with it, and the words were written there. So teacher said her to take that book and read it out. Then in 1 month you will be able to read this book. Then teacher explained her that it will take 1 month, but you will be able to read the whole book. Then I will give you the bigger book. Then I will give you another book. Then a bigger one. In this time you will be more learned, and even than anyone else in the village. So teacher is motivating her that one day you will be able to read many books, and you will become a knowledgeable man at that moment. And then no one will be able to laugh at you. No one will then laugh, because you will become full of confidence. Then people will listen to respect you. You will be able to speak without slightest stammer. Understand? Now go home, come back early tomorrow morning. So teacher is motivating that one day will come when you will start reading the book and you will speak clearly also. Then no one will mock at you, no one will make fun of you. So you will go to that position. So Boli felt as if suddenly all the bells of the village temple were ringing when Boli started going out of the school, and she felt so happy that all the good things now she was able to observe. Till now she was not observing the bells of the temple, but now she was hearing that the bells of the village all every was ringing. The trees in front of her schoolhouse had blossomed into great red flowers. She could observe the beauty of the nature. Her heart was throbbing with a new hope and new life. So throbbing is beating strongly. So her heart, she was feeling hopeful now that this is a good life, a sign of the good life, and she will be having a good life further in the school. She felt happy. Thus years passed. The village became a small town. The little primary school became a high school, and there were now a cinema under tin shed, cotton grinding mill. The mill train began to stop at their railway station. One day after dinner, Ramlal said to his wife, then shall I accept Bishambo's proposal? So this way the time keep on passing. Years, many years passed, and now Bholi was grown up. So this school, the small school which has started here in her village, small village, now there was a high, instead of a small school, there was a high school. And there was a cinema also. So the village also was developing. So this way, a day came when Ramlal is talking to his wife, and what he is talking, that shall I accept Bishambar's proposal? Bishambar is a man who is an aged one, and he wants to get married, and he has sent a proposal to get his daughter married to him. And because Bholi was not beautiful, so he's saying, shall I accept the proposal? Because he's an aged one, so he's asking the advice of his wife, that shall we get Bholi married to this man, this aged one? So yes, certainly, his wife said, and the wife is ready. Wife is ready. She said, of course, why not? His wife said, Bholi will be lucky to get such a well-to-do bridegroom. For mother, it was not a bad idea to get her married to that man, saying he is wealthy enough and he will get a wealthy bridegroom. So, what is the problem in her? A big shop he is having, a big house also he is having, and several thousands in the bank he's having. So he's a good man who is having a lot of money. So we should accept this proposal. Moreover, he is not asking for a dowry. Moreover, he's not asking money also for getting her married. So why should not we accept this proposal? That's right, but he is not so young, almost same age as I am. So that man Bishambar, he was age of the father of Bholi, and this husband and wife, they are preparing that they will get her married. He also limps, even he is not able to move properly, he's having some physical defect. Moreover, the children from his first wife are quite grown up, and moreover, what is the big thing here, that he has children also, grown up children also, from his first wife, and this will be his second marriage with Bholi. And wife is ready and father is also consulting, and they becomes ready. They are not asking Bholi whether she wants to get married or not. No, she was not never asked for this. And now, so what does it matter? His wife replied, 45 or 50. She's saying, what is the matter? Whether he's 45 years old or 50 years old doesn't matter. No great age for a man. You see, man never becomes old. So there is no problem. So this is mother, what mother is talking. She's not caring about her girl's emotions. She's giving her opinion. We are lucky that he's from another village, doesn't know about her poke marks. And moreover, they're hiding the fact that she's having a poke mark on her face, and this man has never seen Bholi, so he doesn't know about her lack of sense also, that she's a foolish girl. He doesn't know anything. So it will be easy for us that we get her married to that man. So if we don't accept the proposal, she may remain unmarried all her life. Otherwise, she's saying she will never get married to any man. No one will marry her because she is a dumb-headed child. Yes, but I wonder what Bholi will say. So father is thinking that what Bholi will say if we tell. What will that witless one day? Witless one day. Witless is without mind. Now father is saying she's without mind. Mother is saying she's without mind. She can't think anything properly. She's like a dumb cow. She's like a cow. Just like a cow, you take her wherever you want to take. She will never speak anything. Maybe you are right, muttered Ramlal. So Ramlal also agreed that you are saying right. So we'll not ask from her and we'll get her married. They both agreed. In other corner of the country, Bholi lay awake on her coat, listening to her parents' whispered conversation. Bholi was listening the conversation. She was listening what they were talking about. But because no one asked her, no one cared about her emotions, so she did not say anything. So the day came when this Bishambar Nath, he was well-to-do grocer. He was a man who was a grocer also, well-to-do, a lot of money he has earned because he was a most reputed person of the place. So he came with a big party of friends, relations with him for the wedding. So the day came when the marriage took place. So he brought a big party. Brought a lot of friends of him to get married and reach to the village of Bholi. A brass band playing a popular tune from the Indian film headed the procession, with the bridegroom riding a decorated horse. Ramlal was overjoyed to see such a pomp and splendor. And now, when Ramlal saw such a pomp and splendor, such a luxurious party, such a luxurious reception, when he saw that the man has come to marry, such a man has come to marry his daughter, he was very happy. He had never dreamt that his fourth daughter would have such a grand wedding. He never hoped that such a grand wedding will be prepared for her daughter, because he never thought she will getting even married. And her sisters also, they also, when they came for the occasion, they were envious, jealous. They were jealous of her luck that she's getting married to a wealthy man, and they are not having such so much good gracious things in their life. When the auspicious moment came, the priest said, bring the bride. So the time came when it was the marriage time. So the auspicious holy fire was there, and they are now getting married this moment. So when the priest asked to bring the bride is Bholi, clad in a red silken bridal dress, was led to bride's place near the sacred fire. When near the sacred fire, the holy fire, she was brought. And when she was brought, she was wearing a red dress, and her mouth was covered. Garland the bride. So when a marriage is taking place, so naturally these things, the rituals of the marriage are being done. So this is the time when garlanded, when bride and groom, they will garland to each other. So garland the bride, one of the friend prompted Bishambarnath. So one of the friend of him said to him, bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigold. He was having a yellow marigold garland in his hand, and when this he was going to put this garland in the neck of the Boli. So what happened at that moment? A woman slipped back the silken veil from bride face, because till now her face was covered with the covered, it was veil is covered, face was covered with the cloth on, with her sari, that. But now with a piece of her sari, now a woman, when she slipped back, so Bishambar, he took a quick glance, he looked towards the face of the Bholi, and the garland which remained poised in his hand, he poises still. When he was going to put the garland in her hand, he saw the face of this girl, and he stopped suddenly when he saw the face, because there were poke marks on her face, and he was seeing it first time. Bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face. She suddenly, bride the Bholi, then again she covered her face. Have you seen her? Said Bishambar to the friend next to him. She has a poke mark on her face. So he stopped. He was shocked to see the face of Bholi. He told to his friend that she's having poke marks on her face. Have you seen that? So what friend is suggesting her? So what? So he's saying doesn't matter. So what? You are not younger either. He's saying you are not a young bridegroom. You are old man for her. So doesn't matter whether she's having poke marks. Doesn't matter. Maybe, but if I'm to marry, her father must give me 5,000 rupees. So here he became a greedy now. He shows his greediness. He's saying, okay, no problem. If her father wants her to get married from me, this pokemark girl, he will have to pay 5,000 rupees to me. So this condition here he kept. He said 5,000 he will be paying. Then only I will marry her. So here again Ramlal went and placed his turban, his honor at the Vishambar's feet. Don't humiliate me. Take 2,000 rupees. So there a bargain was taking place there. A bargain for the girl. What that? Father, because he didn't have that much money, he said, you take 2,000 rupees and please don't stop the marriage. Get married with her. No. And bargaining, he's saying, no, not at all. Not 2,000, only 5,000, or I go back with the party. So you keep your daughter with you. Be a little considerate, please. If you go back, I can never show my face to the village. So her father is begging from this man that please don't go back, and otherwise no one will, all will laugh over us. Then out with 5,000. So condition was put by Ramlal that then bring 5,000, I will get married of this girl. Tears streaming down his face, Ramlal went in, opened the safe, counted the notes. He placed the bundle at bridegroom's feet. So he brought 5,000 rupees from inside, and then he kept at his feet. Okay, you get married now. I have given the money. So this way a bargain was done to get Bholi married with Bholi. And Bholi, who was observing everything, now how did she react? On Bishambar's a greedy face appeared, a triumphant smile. He had gambled and won. Give me garland, he announced. So he, as if triumphant, victorious smile came over the face of the Bishambar. Because he's greedy, he was greedy. This thing tell that he was very greedy. And when he got the money, so he was smiling. He said, okay, now no problem. Give me garland, now I will get married. So when he spoke, once again the veil was slipped back from the bride's face, but this time her eyes were not downcast. So this time when Bholi listened this, that now he will get married, she again threw away her veil, the covering of the face she threw away, and looked straight on the face of this man. Now she was not feeling any embarrassment. She looked straight into the face of this man, Bishambar. He was looking up, looking straight at the prospective husband. Prospective is would-be husband. Her eyes there were neither anger nor hate, only cold contempt. Contempt is hate, disrespect. Now, when she was looking towards Bishambar, she was not feeling any anger or anything. No hate, only just a cold contempt, a hatred was there in her eyes, and she was looking towards this man. And when she was looking, Bishambar raised the garland to place it around bride's neck. But before he could do, Bholi struck out like a streak of lightning, and the garland was flung into fire. She got up and threw away the veil. Now she did not. She stopped this man to put the garland round her neck. She threw that garland away, and then she was very angry over the situation. And what she spoke, see how she is responding now. She spoke with her father. How she is speaking? Pitaji. Now, this was the first occasion, first time that everyone was listening that she could speak so clearly. Pitaji, said Bholi in a clear, loud voice. Her father, mother, sister, brother, relations, neighbor was startled, surprised to hear her speak without even slightest stammer. So, after she was sent to school so many years ago, now her voice was very clear. She was not stammering at all, and she has become a confident girl now. And very clearly, when the villagers first time, everyone when they hear her speaking so clearly, all were startled, all were surprised. Pitaji, take back your money. I'm not going to marry this man. So she strictly said to her father, take back your money, and she will not get married to this greedy man. This decision of her, she told all. And when she was speaking like that, Ramlal was thumbstruck. So Ramlal was surprised. He was thumbstruck. He just was shocked to know what she was speaking. So he was shocked, and the guests began to whisper, "So shameless, so ugly, so shameless." Bholi, are you crazy? So everyone was saying that she's ugly also and shameless girl also. How she is speaking? Shouted Ramla. You want to disgrace your family? Have you some regard for our ijjat? Ijjat, respect. For the sake of your ijjat, said Bholi, I was willing to marry this old lame man. Now she was speaking. She's saying, you talk about respect. When father talk about respect, because of your respect only, I was marrying this old man who is a lame also. But I will not have such a mean, greedy, contemptible. Contemptible is hateful, coward person as my husband. I will never marry this man who is so greedy. So she told her decision about, she gave her decision that she will never marry such man. So her confidence was even reflected on her face now. What a shameless girl! And the people were speaking there in the party that she's a shameless girl. We all thought she was a harmless dumb cow, that she was a cow, and now she's speaking like that. So Bholi turned violently on a old woman. A old woman who was speaking like that. She spoke to that girl. Yes, auntie, you are right. You thought I was a dumb driven cow. That's why you wanted me hand over to this heartless creature. But now the dumb cow, the stammering fool is speaking. Do you want to hear more? So she snubbed that lady who was speaking like her to shameless that yes, I am speaking. You thought I am a cow, I am a dumb cow, and you wherever you will take me, I will go. And that's why you people wanted to hand over me to this heartless creature. And if you think like that, you think, but I will not get married. Have you heard? Now no need to speak. So she rebuked the ladies who were speaking against her. But now Bishambar Nath, now the father who was looking the whole scene, the Bishambar, the man who husband, would be husband who wanted to marry, he was looking the whole scene. The grocer, he started to go back with his party. He didn't have any choice because she denied to marry. Bishambar now started going back with his whole people, with the party whom he has come. He started going back, and confused bandsman thought he was end of ceremony and struck up a closing song. And because bandmen who were outside, they thought that the marriage had taken place, and they started playing the music. They did not know that he was going without marriage. So Ramlal stood rooted to the ground. It was an embarrassing situation for the Bishambar also. So here Ramlal, the father who was standing, who could not speak anything on that occasion, his head bowed low with the weight of grief and shame. He was feeling sorrow. He was feeling shameful when the marriage was not happening or did not happen. So now the flames of the sacred fire slowly died down. So now naturally there was no marriage now, and the sacred fire, it blew out. So everyone was gone. All the family was, every person from outside was gone. Ramlal turned to Bholi, said, but what about you? No one will marry you now. What shall we do with you? Now Ramlal is asking to Bholi that, Bholi, whatever you did, okay, no problem, but now what will happen of you? Who will marry you now? What will you do? So now what she says? And now Sulekha, not Bholi, now she was Sulekha because her tone was very strict and she was very confirmed about her decision. She said she was calm and steady. She didn't feel embarrassed. She said, "Don't worry, Pitaji, in your old age I will serve you, and mother, I will teach in the same school where I learned so much. Isn't that right, ma'am?" And teacher was also standing there, who taught her, who motivated her. She said to her father, "You don't worry about her. Where I'm studying in the school, I will be a teacher there. You don't worry. I will earn for myself and I will serve to you also. And you need not to worry about that." Then she took the consent of her teacher who was there, who gave her, who made her, motivated her always, who made her such a strong lady that she was taking decisions of her. Then the teacher, all along, she stood in the corner watching the drama. The teacher was seeing the whole drama. "Yes, Bholi, of course," she replied. And in her smiling eyes was the light of deep satisfaction that an artist feels when contemplating the completion of her masterpiece. The teacher said, agreed with her, "Yes, Bholi, of course you will live a good life." And she was, her eyes, her expression, the teacher's face, she was smiling in such a way as if she was very satisfied that what she taught to that girl, she was able to stand on her feet, and now she was able to take decision, right decision for her. For she was feeling like that artist who had completed a painting of a masterpiece of her, and she was in the form of Bholi. So this way even teacher was satisfied, and Bholi was standing on her feet. For herself she was fighting for the injustice being done for her. She was defending for everything. Now she was on that position that she was able to speak for herself very clearly because of the teacher and because of her own efforts. That's the chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day.